There's something about long road trips that feels both exciting and unsettling. Endless highways, deserted towns, strange motels far from anywhere familiar. Most of the time, nothing happens. But sometimes, you come across something, or someone, that reminds you why certain places are best left unexplored. This is a true story about a road trip my friends and I took last summer. A trip that nearly became our last. Last summer, my two closest friends, Jake and Mark, and I decided to take a spontaneous road trip across a few states. No real plan, no destination, just the excitement of open highways, gas station junk food, and wherever the road would take us. We started out full of energy, blasting music, telling stories, and taking turns driving. For the first 2 days, we stuck mostly to main highways, stopping at decent motels near larger towns. But on the third night, we decided to get a little more adventurous, take back roads and explore the rural side of things. Big mistake. It was getting late. We'd been driving for hours through fields and forests with barely any signs of life. No streetlights, no other cars, just endless blacktop stretching into the darkness. Around midnight, we finally saw a flickering neon sign on the side of the road. Valley View Motel. The parking lot was almost empty except for one rusty pickup truck parked near the office. The building itself looked run down, the kind of place you'd see in a horror movie, but we were too tired to care. We parked and went inside. The lobby was dead silent. No receptionist. Just a cracked desk with a dusty bell sitting on top. Jake tapped it a few times. After a long minute, an old man finally emerged from a back room. He looked strange. His clothes were stained, his eyes kind of glazed over like he wasn't really there. He barely spoke a word. Just slid a grimy key across the counter and motioned toward the rooms out back. Room 7. We shrugged it off. It was cheap, and we needed sleep. The room itself was depressing. Faded wallpaper peeling at the corners, a stained carpet that smelled of mildew, and an old TV that only played static. We joked around a bit, trying to lighten the mood, but none of us could deny that something about the place felt wrong. Around 2:30 a.m., I woke up suddenly. The room was pitch dark except for a sliver of moonlight coming through the thin curtains. I lay there for a second, disoriented, until I heard a faint tap, tap, tap against the window. At first I thought it was just a tree branch, but then I realized there were no trees close to the window. Slowly I sat up and looked. Standing under the streetlight across the parking lot was a man. Tall, thin, wearing a long, dirty coat. He was facing our room, standing completely still. I stared, heart racing, trying to convince myself it was just a trick of the light. But then he took a step forward, then another. I shook Jake awake and pulled Mark off the floor where he'd been sleeping in a sleeping bag. When they looked out the window, they both went silent. The man was closer now, maybe 10 feet away. Jake whispered, "We need to go. Now." We grabbed our bags, not even bothering to pack properly, and bolted out of the room. As we sprinted to the car, I dared a quick glance back. The man was still walking toward us, but faster now, arms stiff at his sides, head low like he was charging. We scrambled into the car, and for a terrifying moment, the engine wouldn't start. Jake kept twisting the key while Mark and I screamed at him. The headlights flickered on just in time for us to see the man reach out toward the driver's side window. The car roared to life and Jake slammed his foot on the gas. We tore out of that parking lot so fast we nearly skidded into a ditch. None of us spoke for a long time. We just drove. Hours later, when we finally stopped at a well-lit gas station on the outskirts of a real town, we all got out to stretch and catch our breath. That's when Mark noticed it. There were muddy handprints on the back windshield, smeared across the glass, like someone had been gripping it tightly. None of us knew when exactly he had touched the car. We didn't know if he had been following us long before we even noticed him. We never reported it. We just drove the rest of the trip during the daytime and avoided motels that weren't part of major chains. Even now, whenever I go on long road trips, I can't help but glance in the rearview mirror, just to make sure no one's there. Some places aren't meant for visitors, and sometimes the scariest things aren't ghosts or monsters. They're real people, hiding just out of sight. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more true horror stories, and remember, the next time you're on a deserted road, you might not be as alone as you think.